I'm here with Annemarie Jacir, director of Palestine 36. Annemarie, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And I'm glad to talk to you because this is a very strong film, you may say, about a historic time of Palestine that was very rough. It's in the movie, right? But I want to ask you, for start, why do you choose this specific historic time for do the film?
Yeah. Well, thank you. 1936 is the beginning of the first mass revolt, mass uprising in Palestine against British colonialism. And I was interested to discuss, to sort of explore that moment a bit more because it is important in so many ways. Because often we start talking about the history beginning in 1948, and of course, it begins so much more before that. And it's an incredible moment, 36, also because it's the beginning, not just of this mass uprising, but it's really the beginning of, let's say, the organized, struggle for, the national movement for Palestinians. And I would say there's very little about it has been done about it.
In that way, what would you say was the most difficult part of the making of Palestine 36? Because you have a lot of actors.
I think everything was difficult. All of it was the most difficult that I've had to deal with. It was a huge cast of actors, like you said. The fact that we're making a film and none of these things exist anymore. The villages don't exist anymore. The weapons, the vehicles, nothing of it exists. So we had to create all of it or find it, like find all the props, find all the things. There was a lot of, we had to build everything and create everything. For us in Palestine, we don't work on this kind of scale before. We don't really have the possibility to work like this. So we really wanted to do it and to do it well and to, work on all the details and create it. And also on top of that, we don't have proper financing and budget, and we have a military occupation that we live. So everything we built like the bus, and then how do we get the bus to our location, for example, because we have to get it through a checkpoint, and we get stopped all the time by the army, or we get stopped by the settlers or whatever. So it was like every single day was challenging for every department, I would say. For all of us, we're facing, all of this regularly. And then after October 7th, it became, nearly impossible because then we lost everything. We had spent 1 year building and creating, and we lost it all after that. And we were not able to film in the village. We planted crops in that village. We rebuilt all the houses, and now we lost it. We were not able to reach it anymore. So we had to restart again. We went to Jordan, and then in Jordan we started to film, and then I insisted that we come back and we finished the film in Palestine, and so there was the process. We stopped and started many times, and it was an incredibly difficult production.
And with all these difficulties, you said, how much time took the entire film?
Well, if you want to talk about like financing and writing and, from the very beginning, I would say it was about 9 years to be specific, 9 years, which was writing and researching, but financing, really trying to find, because we don't have any local support really for cinema. It's all about, fundraising from the community, the Palestinian community, the diaspora, institutions, co-productions. It was like a big process. And then, once we were ready to go, 1 year to prepare the film actually on the ground. And then after October 7th, we stopped and started maybe 3 more times. And we finally, like 1.5 years late, later finish the film.
So it was a big effort to make this
So
film,
I got
isn't it?
old. Everybody got old. The kids got older in the film. That was like, the thing is everything was manageable except for the children were growing up, and it was, I was like, stay small.
And I'm interested in one thing that you put in the film, the archive footage. Um, how did you get it? How did you use it to tell the story, to set the parts in a way that makes sense, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I had an archive producer I was working with, and I was collecting a lot of images during my research for the film. I was collecting images and looking at a lot of images, not just the kind of archives with, moving picture that you see in the film, but a lot of stills as well. And those archives were very important for me in the development of the story, and then very important when we were working in preparation with my costume designer, with my production designer, and with the cinematographer. We were looking a lot at archives and what this world looked like and what people dressed like and what kind of things were in the houses and all of this stuff. It was very important to we wanted to be authentic as possible. And to be, true as possible. Even it's fiction, but like for everything in it to be correct. So we brought props. We were all the time, my props master was like in the markets all over the place looking for items and, bringing, original items from the period. So archive was important for that. And then I wrote the script with the idea that I was going to use archive inside the story. Because even though it's a big project for us, I still can never afford to create the streets of Jerusalem with hundreds of people and costumes and cars and all of this. Like we're not Hollywood. Archive was useful because I was like, this is the world of the characters. This is the world they live in, and it's important to see that world. But I wanted it to be colored. And that was the thing that we did. We colorized it. And that was important for me, very important, because it was alive. I wanted the film to feel alive and to be alive and to be, the world is alive. And if it was black and white and you were watching the film, the audience is watching a film, and then it goes to black and white footage, I felt like it would take you backwards, or it would be like, the filmmaker saying, look, this is how it used to be, and now we're back to our film, and now we go back, and then we're back to our film. And I didn't want it for that purpose. I wanted it because it was the world of the characters and to move forward in the story. So that process of colorizing the archives and using them was a long one and a big one.
It's interesting what you said about the difference, isn't it? But you made several movies before about Palestine and historic moments. How important is for you to make this kind of film about historic moments, not only for Palestine, but maybe other historic moments? Why do you think it's important to make this kind of movies?
I mean, I think it's important that we tell our stories, and we tell the stories of, our life and our history and our people, and when we have to, we have to tell our own story from our point of view. And I think, for everybody in the world, this is important. A lot of people, tell stories about other places, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think things are different when they come from within a people, and it's our images, and it's our story, and it's our life that is being represented. So I think it is important. It's my second period film, because the other, When I Saw You was in the late 60s. And Salt of the Sea is not a period film, my first feature, but I use archive in it, coming back to the archives. Um, I think that is important also because it's who we are, and there are so many stories to tell, and all our lives as Palestinians, this story is being denied or erased, or we're not allowed to speak it, or we're not allowed to tell it, or it's controlled. So making Palestine 36 was important for all of us, like the whole team. It was very important. It's us. This is the thing that we want to tell. And I think it's the reason, with all the difficulties of the project, with everything falling apart all the time, why we continued is because it was personal for all of us, for the team. It was personal for everybody involved.
I understand that Palestine 36 was banned in Israel. Um, why do you think they did that? Because I personally believe that it wasn't just for a film, and it's kind of obvious. But I wanted to ask you your perception.
I think it's very scary for some people to see people without power to take control of their own story and their own narrative. I think it's very scary to people, and they want to try to, shut that down, that people can express themselves and can say something that might threaten power structures. So yeah, a lot of people are surprised because they say, your film is not even, it's about the British, it's about the British in the 30s. Why this film? But I think it's a lot about, the fact that it's because it's us, because we are the ones telling the story. And it's not unusual here, that, theater performances are closed down all the time. Music performances are closed down. Like, artists to express themselves is something not allowed, actually.
To finish, Annemarie, why do you think it's important for the audience, not only Palestinians, but in general? Why do you think it's important to watch this movie?
I think because it's important to know where we come from in this world in order to move out of it. We are sort of stuck in a cycle that I've been living all my life, and that my parents lived and my grandparents lived. It's the same story again and again of control. And I think the way to break out of it is to understand how it starts and where it comes from, because otherwise we're just still stuck in the same thing. And I think I also feel like many communities, I think of course Palestinians will see themselves in such a film, and they will see the people they know in the film and the stories they know. But I think everybody that has come from a place that has been colonized, or they are a marginalized community or a community under threat, can relate to this story. And it's about people. Just what do you do? How are regular people affected by history, by life, by politics, and what do you choose to do in those moments? And so it's about the 30s, but it's definitely a very current story.
Thank you, Annemarie.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to talk to you.